Last week, we also told you about Cold War 2.0, the face-off between China and America. They're fighting on all fronts now, including medicine. You could call this a medical arms race. Each side wants to get there first, to get a cure, to find a vaccine, and the big money and global influence that it promises. The United States and China are freely funding scientists. They're pouring money into laboratories that are working on cures and vaccines. Why? Because both of them want to get the vaccine first, which technically should be good for the world, but it's not that simple. They're not doing it out of their love for humankind. They're doing it because it empowers them. Imagine this. If you had a vaccine or a cure, you get to decide who gets it first. And in times like these, this ability, the ability to make this decision, is like a superpower. Both America and China are chasing this power. In their quest for this power, this is what each side is doing. Let me start with the United States. President Donald Trump is convinced. On Friday, he announced that by the month of January 2021, America will have the vaccine. And he has a quote-unquote big and fast plan to get the vaccine to those who need it.
On the next stage of this momentous medical initiative, it's called Operation Warp Speed. That means big and it means fast. A massive scientific, industrial, and logistical endeavor unlike anything our country has seen since the Manhattan Project. You really could say that nobody's seen anything like we're doing, whether it's ventilators or testing. Nobody's seen anything like we're doing now within our country since the Second World War. Incredible. Its objective is to finish developing and then to manufacture and distribute a proven coronavirus vaccine as fast as possible. Again, we'd love to see if we could do it prior to the end of the year. We think we're going to have some very good results coming out very quickly.
Donald Trump is fighting the pandemic in a way that he knows best, by writing checks. And it's virtually a blank check. The United States Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority, or BARDA, is spending big. The government agency has announced nearly $1 billion in support for coronavirus vaccine development. Back in the month of March, American lawmakers had approved more than $8 billion as per their coronavirus response. More than $3 billion of this, $3 billion, was set aside for research and development of vaccines, therapeutics and diagnostics. The United States started its vaccine hunt with around 100 candidates. It now has 14. And if there's something that works better anywhere in the world, America will find a way to create room in its budget and buy its way in. Already, the United States is funding one such project in France. The money is going to a company called Sanofi, a private vaccine company. One of their vaccine projects is being partly funded by America. Last week, Sanofi's CEO had triggered a row by saying that America would be the first in line to get the vaccine supplies. They have backtracked since. China, too, is writing blank checks. It has 5 candidates in human trials. It wants to test more people. China wants to get there first and do so desperately. They see this as a matter of national pride. A commentator in the Global Times said, "It is a matter of life and death." Of course it is. Let me quote from the piece. "We must be aware that the development of a vaccine is a battle that China cannot afford to lose." And the government seems to agree. It is the Global Times, after all, that's speaking here. After creating this crisis, China wants to fund the vaccine. China's approach is a little different from America's, though. In China, it is the military that is involved in developing this vaccine. These scientists are working overtime as Xi Jinping made a commitment to the world today that China will give the world a vaccine. Clearly, the dragon wants to be seen as a savior. It wants to emerge stronger out of this crisis. It's accelerating its research, positioning itself into the role of a rescuer, while using the state media to pan the American efforts for the vaccine. The United States and China both are locked in this race to get there first, but there is no prize or trophy at the end of this. This is a pandemic. Lives are being lost. What we need right now is global cooperation to defeat this virus, not a competition. 2 of the biggest countries in the world right now are off chasing national pride and the opportunity to control the world through a vaccine. Bye.